This is the last floor they clean on, so they start down on one and they go up to two, and by the time you get up here, it's 7 o'clock, so we'll miss that too. Get back and fingers and stuff, so. Okay, on tonight's board meeting agenda, we're gonna talk about the Hatchery Road property, over there, the listing expires. We've had interest in it, but nobody's written any offers yet. So, current price is at $318,000. Is anybody thinking a price that we might wanna come in at? And if we are,
Currently 118?
no, 318,000.
Oh, 300.
318,000.
Well, you know, some people will look at a price, they'll say, I don't want to spend more than 300. So we don't make that cut, but if we're 299, we're on the list.
We're up to 318, if they wanna spend 300, write an offer for 300.
Well, they won't even look at it.
She means show up on the MLS listing when they're searching.
That's just a thought. I know people do that with houses. They're
Streets
a
under
cut off,
range.
they want to get just underneath.
Yeah.
$399, $299. Then you make that
How
cut.
long has it been listed?
Couple years.
A couple of years?
That tells you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like from.
And again, like I said, it's not an
Same price.
ideal piece of property per se. You got, like I said, from high end to low end, a 27-foot elevation change, from the highest point to the lowest point. So you're gonna have to do some earthwork in there and land balance and stuff. And then, of course, you got down by the lake, you can't take dirt down to there without building retention, you know, retaining walls and stuff. And that, again, you don't wanna start dumping a bunch, you don't wanna put $200,000 or $300,000 more into a piece of property if you're gonna develop it, so.
How much interest is in there? How many people are?
Oh, I can think of 8, or probably in the last 2 years, probably 7 or 8 different people that have looked at it, but they just never have, nobody's written an offer on it. The guy, in fact, the guy that bought, Dundee property was looking at it too. So I don't know, because he bought Dundee, he didn't look at that anymore, or what, but it sounded like he was gonna make an offer on that, and he never did, so, never heard back from him on it. So.
We'll always let it ride for a little bit, there's no really hurry to sell it now.
I do like Sue's theory of 299.
Well, it's like this, so if you sell it and get it back on the tax rolls, it starts generating revenue immediately for the township. And then, you know, we don't have, you know, the maintenance factor, we had people back in there recently dumping again, so DPW went over and cleaned that up. We put a new cable up there, so apparently they won't cut the old cable off, so we put a new cable up down there, so.
We'll put it at 250 with dumping.
You go from one extreme to the
Yeah,
other.
right.
279?
We can give it away to the back of the tax roll.
I came up with 299 and 298, 279, 279, 250.
Pick a number.
It's 290.
There's two things you can pick, a number in your nose.
I'll do 295. How about that?
What's that?
295.
295,
286.
286.
Now we're getting somewhere.
What's Zillow stands for?
Okay, what's all,
I don't know, does Zillow do
I
property or do they
Yes, they
just
do.
do houses?
Zillow's at the end of the alphabet. I quit listening to him a long time ago.
what does our realtor think would sell at, what price? Does Gary,
Gary said we needed it to get under 300. That's all, but he didn't say anything more.
let's go 295 or something like that.
Yeah.
There you go.
295?
That's 295, some twice. Some
295.
twice.
I'll say 295, I'll jump it up 45.
295?
Sure.
295?
How big is the
So-
lot here?
Well, it's 8.5 acres of real estate. It's a 5 and a 3.5, but I would say probably a third of that's underwater. You know, it shows the square piece of property, the property comes around, it returns, it comes up,
6 acres.
swings in, then the creek comes from that pond across from Hatchery there. So,
So we're dropping to 23,000, should put some interest.
295?
Yeah.
So that's the number we'll have going into the board meeting tonight, then that's the this is 295. Sold.
Yeah, Gary West thinks that, under 300.
Yeah. Because again, like I said, we had a guy, the guy, Gary just called me on here probably about 3 weeks ago. He wanted to know how many splits he could get out of that. You know, well, the last lot is you come, you know, if you took them, say like, 70 foot, 70 feet is the smallest, 75 feet is the smallest lot.
Maybe 75.
I've been away from it just long enough that those numbers are, to say 75 feet, but that last lot, as the shoreline comes down, you'd have like, you know, just a small lot there.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe, you know, maybe 100-foot lots or whatever, but feasibly you can get 5 good lots under there and make that last one a little bit wider because of the shoreline going like that and still have some setbacks and not be encroaching
I
there.
never been back in the property here, that's Clam Lake back there? Is it like a little pond or?
You know, I don't know if it's spring fed or not. It never seems to be very low.
Oh,
It just never does.
probably a spring fed.
I went back there fishing when I was a kid. But you
Did
know,
that with
just,
road
you
running.
can't bluegills up long as fast you can hold it.
There,
Lay
that's a
them all
good
on
point,
there.
Like a
Stu.
lake or pond, and they
They
say.
were
Oh,
all
there it
twins.
is.
They all looked the same. They were all small, stunted, undersized, but I mean, you could just, there was a lot of them. But again, like I said, that's, my brother lived on Croswell Street, his property went down to it, that's off of Tubbs Road. Croswell runs
Okay.
parallel to Tubbs, the last street that comes down goes to Croswell, he was the last house on the right at that time. But,
Yeah, the listing says it's 8.5 acres.
yeah, a 5 and a 3.5 is what it was originally platted.
And it was sold back in March of 2006 for $250,000.
The township,
I guess so, it just, that's what it
Probably
says,
sounds
last
about
sold
right.
2006.
how much?
250.
250?
So it's had some appreciation.
Right.
12 years.
Yeah, I think the township bought it at one time, they wanted to build something back there.
But they're gonna build a new town hall back
Town
there.
hall, that's what
And
it was.
again, you look
Town
at that.
hall?
Yeah, it
No,
does.
it wasn't town hall, was it?
Or, no, it's
A
the
community
new
center.
community center, it's a new community center back there, yes, thank you for correcting me. And again, you look at the, like you said, you look at a 27-foot elevation change from high to low. Parking, getting in and out of the cold, you know, snow, cold weather, but snowy weather, slippery weather, whatever you wanna call it. ADA compliant, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I know Doug Bradley had done a preliminary, you know, sketch, you know, of it, and being an engineer, yeah, just for the community center back there, how they're gonna do it, but just, you know, they looked at some different things. Plus, when we bought that property, we had 2 houses we had to demolish to get around the property, so the 2 existing homes, one was on each parcel. And to prove that excessive axle weight is tough on asphalt, that driveway going back, that asphalt driveway is still in pretty good shape, it hasn't been driven on in 12 years. And I was surprised how good that driveway is. I walked back there, we went back there originally. Margaret and Sue and I went back there, and that driveway that's been 4 or 5 years ago, but that driveway's still in pretty good shape. Good enough for the people to drive back there and dump
Yeah.
stuff, so, but it just, but again, so we'll tell Gary 295.
Or best.
Yeah, what we got there, like I said, well, maybe, like I said, that might start generating some offers. Okay, I'm gonna bring up one more, we're gonna beat this horse one more time, okay? Walt Boulevard, Dixie Highway to Sashaba.
Oh, yeah.
We never voted on that because we didn't do it in an open meeting, we did a consensus. The consensus was 4-3 against spending $50,000 to rehabilitate a road that's gonna be torn out in less than 3 years now. It would be done. I did convey that message to Dennis Kohler. I said it is, you know, that's where we're at. I just want to let you know I passed that information on. I did talk to Tim Patterson also. He's the one that circulated the petition and got 786 signatures to get that stretch of road done. Road Commission was out on Saturday morning. I saw them out there and they were marking the road for repairs.
Oh.
But Dennis didn't tell me what their plans were, okay? The way I understood it, they're gonna spend $150,000 on it. If it went tri-party, it would be $450,000. Road Commission, Oakland County, Waterford Township, 150, 150, 150. So 150 to 450, I have no idea what the plans are, the process in which they're gonna use to do the repairs. It can be the temporary repairs, because again, the road's coming out, that 7/10 of a mile stretch from Dixie Highway east to Sashba Road is being torn out in its entirety in 2021 and completely reconstructed. At which time that's gonna cost the township $134,000 for a $4 million project. So that's a big bang for your buck right there, so.
He never verified what I heard. You can add 150 to the 150 with only 50.
we try to keep this between the board work sessions, okay? This is open to the public, okay? And I verified everything you sent me on emails. I just told you I got off the phone with Dennis Kolar today. Yeah. And you talked to this person, you talked to that person, you got all the answers, you got it all figured out. I just said right there, 150, 150, and 150. Did you hear that? Hello? That's what I thought.
Not
That's
from
what I
the,
thought.
I didn't hear it from the county.
No, did you hear what I just said?
That's not true though.
Yes, it is true.
No, it's not.
Okay, then there you go. You got all the answers, right? Talk to super veterinarian over here. He can tell you guys I'm an idiot. Go ahead. Direct your questions to him.
So you said they're gonna do 100.
Make sure you bring this up at the board meeting tonight, superstar. I want to see it.
But didn't it read 2021, they're gonna redo it?
2021, a complete demo and reconstruct. Yes, sir.
But they're doing 150,000 repairs this year?
That's the road commission's money.
Yeah.
If you do tri-party, it becomes road commission,
Yeah.
Oakland County, Waterford Township.
So this looks perfect. Let them do the temporary repair. We'll buy into the permanent repair with 135K. I love it. I love it.
It's, you're not throwing, the way I see it, and I could be dead wrong, you see, I'm not very smart. You're just taking money and you're throwing it away.
But the road's in bad shape.
It's in horrible shape.
Yeah.
But why is it in bad shape?
Probably poor construction.
Poor construction, poor product. Now, recently, I just got chastised by a local resident for spending $30,000 tri-party funds for Fremby's Road over there out of the township. That road wore out. It was wore out. It wasn't, the road commissioner telling us they'd used a bad product and put in it, the road wore out. So we could spend $30,000 to fix a stretch of road, which I believed was gonna be done last year in the preservation overlay project, but it was the other end of Fremby's, not the north end of Fremby's. So we got that fixed for $30,000. We were told it was bad product. A bad batch of concrete was the exact working on the road. So somebody does a project, okay, and they use a bad product or it's poor workmanship or whatever it might be. To me, it's very, very difficult to go back and talk to your residents and say, hey, you want to fund this? I mean, you know, it's somebody else's problem. Do you want to fund this or not? You want to fund it? So you look at things that way and just, you know.
So the road commission's gonna do the temporary repair on the part of Dixie anyway.
Well, from
On Walton,
Dixie is that,
I'm sorry.
RCOC, yeah,
Walton.
that was their truck out there Saturday morning marking the repairs on the road.
Okay, when I first heard that, I was under the impression nobody was gonna do anything.
I was too. I was.
The
That's what
knowing
they
the
made
road
it sound.
commission was gonna
Yes.
repair it, I wouldn't have said spend the 50, that's.
No, I wouldn't have either.
They were gonna do repairs.
Sure, sure.
But like I said, if we
Sounds like a
wanted
great
to get
idea.
more, it could be tri-party.
Sounds like a great idea.
Jerry, what kind of repairs are they talking, just throwing
He
asphalt?
said he didn't know.
I don't know what the repairs are.
Yeah.
I say no anyways, there's no money in it.
Right. And again, I can't see it being too extensive or putting a lot of money and time into product in it because they're gonna tear it out in 3 years.
Right.
That's exactly how we feel, right?
So I just, but they did, they pretty much marked up the whole road.
Well, if they're responsible for what's wrong, then they should take care of it till then.
That makes sense.
It does, but.
Okay, but again, like I said, I talked to Dennis earlier today, and I said I would mention it to the board one more time, but it would be the third time we've gone over it, it hadn't changed.
Third time's the charm.
And then
Yeah.
again, now at budget time this year, we can talk about the next stretch of Walton Boulevard, which there's nothing on before 2025. Nothing, and that's from Sashabaw east to Clintonville Road, which is 1 1/10 miles, okay? So say if we did something in 2018, that would be 6 years, that would be 6 years worth of product being used before it's demolished in 2026. I mean, I don't know, I'm just saying that's.
Is that road real bad shape? I'm trying to recall, I'm driving through it from Sashaba to Pleasantville.
It's headed in the same direction the other part
But
of it.
right now, it's drivable.
Yep.
What?
Is it 2021?
Well, I would say they're all in varying degrees.
Walton,
Up or
from
down?
Dixie Highway east to
2021.
Sashabaw, 2021, yeah.
Is that, Gary, I'm sorry, is that the worst road that you know of in the township, main thoroughfare?
Main thoroughfare.
Oh, yeah,
Boulevard?
probably one of the worst ones in Oakland County. I mean,
Is it okay?
Yeah. I did ask the Nokia estimate if anybody else, and the company across said, no, we don't have anything, they've driven on that road. Anybody that's driven on it said, no, they don't have anything that bad in their municipality. A 5-lane, I'm not talking about a 2-lane road or a 2-lane with a left turn lane, I'm talking a 5-lane, 4 and 1.
I know you told us months ago, whatever, we talked about this. Why are they waiting to 2021? Is that where they budgeted the money?
No, it's federal funding,
And
80-20, yeah. 80% federal government,
that's what the feds
20%
are saying, we're
local.
not gonna give it to you to 2021?
Yep, that's when the money, well, they do projects, they allocate projects as they do them, and that's when that was put on the radar. Rob and I learned that at the February meeting this year at the road commission, that was on the radar for 2021. So we talked to Derek and Barb about that, basically, we got 3 years down the road, yes, we can feasibly allocate those funds. We'll get some one-time revenue from somewhere. So again, like I said, it'll be 80%, 20%.
So Gary, why isn't anybody held accountable for a poor product?
Good.
I mean, we paid for it, so why isn't somebody held accountable?
We
I
talked
mean,
about
that's-
warranty.
I spent 40 and a half years in the construction business, I was held accountable for everything I ever did. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you've heard of errors and omissions, right?
Yep.
Well, why aren't contractors held accountable on that aspect too? If you sell a batch of bad concrete,
Well-
why are we paying for it?
Again, like I said, that's what I'm saying, it's a bad concrete is what it was said.
But now do you have to address the road commission on that, or?
They're the ones that had the oversight of the project, yes, they did, yep. And again,
They're passing
there's
the buck there.
testing, and there's people, these are engineers, they're educated people, this is their field of expertise, this is their profession, and then the contractors.
And typically they do concrete samples before they do a pour. You know,
Yeah, they test the
Right,
concrete.
and the samples are usually approved,
Yeah.
so.
And some of your bigger contractors have their local batch plants, they set right up on site, you know, and other ones, they'll go local contractors, you know, but again, like I said, there's accountability.
Yep.
And everything has, you know, but again, it's just, I don't know what the specs are, I have no idea what the specs are for those. You know, quality of product, life, you know, concrete's typically 25 to 30 years, asphalt is 20, 25 is really pushing it, that's, you know, that's
So
typically.
how long has this concrete lasted?
I don't know when they did that stretch of road. I'm gonna guess and say mid-90s, but I don't know. But it's been coming apart for quite a while now. They have been crack filling that with asphalt. And the cracks, I'd say at least the last 8 or 10 years. So that's where we're at with that. So again, I will call Dennis back. I told him I'd call him back tomorrow. So I talked to Board again. Again, like I said, it's one of those things, you know, you gotta, I mean, it's only $50,000 for the township, but again, it's, like I said, we're taking money, $50,000 of the taxpayers' money, of which we have to respond to all 74,434 of them, 73,434. We have to answer to all of them, not just individuals up there. And it was great that he circulated a petition, got 786 signatures, that speaks volumes. And I'm glad that Tim, rather than sitting back and ridiculing and belittling and berating everybody in the township, actually did something about it. I commend him for that. And I hand-delivered this petition to the Road Commission for Oakland County, and when they lost it, I made copies of it and hand-delivered it to them again to make sure that they got it. And I say they lost it, they couldn't find it, so. But again, hand-delivered to them again.
Subtle difference.
But it's that, we got the numbers and stuff from them, and again, and that's Rob Marinsky dealing with the road commission engineers, because Rob is a township engineer. And he dealt with them, the people he normally deals with there at the road commission, got the numbers from them. And Rob's a pretty sharp guy, and so are the people at the road commission, so I feel good with what they gave us and where we're at with that. So, but like I said, there'll be $50,000 commitment out of the township's general fund. And there is a chance if we don't use those tri-party funds, there is a chance we may lose them. We've not lost them yet, we've not used a lot of them in the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, you know what, though, that's like grass. Sure, it's great, give me $4 million, but if I have to come up with $40,000 match that I don't have, I can't afford it.
Right.
So if we lose it, we lose it. It's-
And again, like I said, with the projected, you know, for the 2018 budget, there was a projected deficit of $1,080,000. That's a projected deficit. We'll know December 31 where we're at. we'll know where we're at that time, but that's projected. And he said, and then we go into, like I said, the one-time revenues that we set aside in particular funds to use for different projects. That's where that would come out of, so, but again, so just, and those are one-time, we don't want things that are reoccurring, you don't like wanna hire people on that funding because you're gonna have to have it next year and next year and next year and next year, and that money may only come in one time, you may not get it again. That's like the 2 contracts we signed for the oil wells, Waterford Township, you know what I'm saying? They never drilled a pinhole in Waterford, we got $100,000. 80,000 and 20,000 from the oil companies, and that was one-time revenue that we were able to set aside and use for other things, because like I said, we had a contractual agreement with the oil company that had first municipality in the state of Michigan with their no fracking clause in it. And that was Harold Fitch, from DEQ said that right out of the hatch, and he's been there for 28 years, so I think he'd have a pretty good knowledge of what was going on. And Pat Kittle in Independence Township looked at so much, he just crossed out Waterford, put Independence, and carbon copied our contract to the word for Independence. So again, that was the biggest concern everybody had, was fracking for that, and that's what we went after, that's what we addressed and did. And again, lo and behold, we're the first municipality in the state of Michigan. Not bad. Not
Were
bad.
we in the country?
No, Michigan.
Or news made it all the way to Texas?
Yeah. Yep. Not, didn't make it to California, but it got as far as south and west of Texas, yeah. Yeah, my sister-in-law lives out there, she reported to me that she heard about it, you know.
That was a mistake.
So, okay, those were the 2 things that I had for myself, so want to rotate clockwise, counterclockwise? Let's go counterclockwise sometime. Go, Tony.
Where are we with trash ordinance?
Gary Dobry's on it.
I tried to write a bid package, it's above my pay grade, I don't feel comfortable doing it. He probably wrote the bid packet for West Bloomfield, he's the one that wrote the ordinance, so we have handed off.
Sue, can you speak up, please? I can't hear.
Oh, okay. I'm loud, she's not.
What was the rebuttal on that?
The attorney has
Yeah,
it.
I heard that, yeah. But
That's
he's had it
good.
for over a month now.
No,
No, he just
No.
is getting it today.
today.
Today, it was a month ago, we talked about it.
No, no,
He's,
not
the
the
bid
bid.
packet.
Not the bid packet.
Oh, the bid packet, okay,
Yeah.
the
Not the
ordinance,
bid,
the
not the
original.
contract, not
The
contract,
ordinance
bid
we'll
packet.
have for the next, you asked me about the bid packet,
Bid
right?
specs.
No, I asked
Ordinance.
where the ordinance, where we are.
The ordinance we should have for our next meeting, but we have to get a bid packet ready.
With the
So
ordinance.
I've been working on that,
Well,
and I
bid
do not
specs.
feel qualified.
So everybody's bidding the same thing.
Is Gary doing the bid packet?
Bid specs, yep.
So that's what we handed off to him today.
Yep.
Very
It's
good.
come.
So he'll have that, and then, like I said, look at the bid specs on it, so everybody's bidding the same thing. And make sure you dot all your i's and cross all your t's.
We'd hope to have it for this meeting,
Right,
the ordinance, but Dover couldn't.
Basically, just have a copy of West Bloomfield, just a few words that
Well,
were changed in here and
We
there.
changed a good bit of it, and he
Yeah.
needed to massage it to fit into our ordinance.
yeah, our ordinance, remember, we went through them, what they
Yeah.
liked and what they didn't like, and then we redid it, and then we tweaked it that one more time, we
Yeah.
tweaked it. Was a few things on there, my biggest thing was yard clippings.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
I wanted
That's what I got-
cuttings.
That's why I got circle yard clippings.
No,
I didn't
but
think it was that much that we,
I wanna be able to cut it too, not just clip it, so. But no, remember, we tweaked it the last time, and that's the one we gave to Dobry, and he's, you know, putting, I think he's moving some of the stuff from some categories to others to get it.
Because it has to align with our
Yes.
ordinance.
Yes, that's
Our
right.
general ordinance.
With the township. general
would it be
so.
safe to tell people that are asking you about it maybe next month at our workshop that we should have an answer?
No, I said in the next board meeting, it'll be introduced, the ordinance will be
Yep.
introduced. at
We're not
the-
gonna go with the workshop and discuss it then.
We already discussed it.
Yeah.
He's doing what we said we wanted.
Yep.
With the bid and everything?
No, the ordinance has to be adopted first.
Good.
And the ordinance will be introduced at
Yeah,
the
next board
September
meeting.
12th meeting.
September
Behind the scenes, we have to get the bid packet ready.
So is
That's
this
what I
public
was working on.
information?
What's that?
About the next meeting in the ordinance, is this public information or just keep it to ourselves?
No, once it's posted, it's
Probably
public.
once it's posted, yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
hasn't
the
been
township
posted yet, but
ordinance is
that's the
public
intent.
information right now.
But right now,
Township ordinance is public information.
Right, well, I'm saying, going out of this meeting, don't be telling people the next meeting that there's,
Well, we expect it to be the next meeting, I guess is what
I have
Sue
been
said.
telling people
okay.
they can expect it at the
Yep.
next board
Right.
meeting.
So that'd be September 10th.
September 10th, yeah, because Labor Day is September 3rd, 3 and
Yes.
7 is 10, so yep.
Good.
So, yeah, that's where we're at on that. Steve?
But the only thing I need to bring up is, does Kirk Simpson have any help as far as ordinance inspections?
Yes, we have 2 part-time code enforcement officers. They work 10 hours a day, 2 days a week. One works Monday, Wednesday, the other works Tuesday, Thursday. Sometimes, especially this time of year, they'll come in Friday to help catch up. We have 1 clerical person in development services that devotes some of their time to that. Other than that, like I said, so basically, but it's as far as, code enforcement are more reactive than proactive, simply because when people call in, you have to respond to it. So they have, you know, a list. It's like a cop coming in an afternoon is being down 3 or 4 calls, you know what I'm saying? That's the busy shift of the day. So, you know, so I mean, you got, you know, so rather than going out and setting radar and writing tickets and stuff, you got, you know, 3 or 4 calls in line, and then dispatch prioritizes which one's which, you know.
But the reason why I
Same
say
thing
that
with
is I'm driving around Waterford, and I see so many violations, flagrant violations, just eyesores everywhere. Even in my neighborhood, I mean, these motorhomes, these trailers, they're parked permanently in the driveway.
You know, there's an online form you can do. You want to,
And
like,
I used
call
to-
him,
I
or you
used-
can
I
call him
used to
into
call-
him.
I used to call Kirk, but I just don't want to inundate him with this stuff, because he probably thinks I'm gonna be a pain in the butt. Yeah, it needs to be-
We're pretty good about it.
Yeah.
What it does is that it reduces the value of people's homes, because, you know, just, it's not attractive. Somebody's trying to sell their house and they got, you know, junk cars parked. That's the other thing, I've never seen so many cars parked on lawns in my life, and I thought there was an ordinance against it.
Well, there's an officer that hangs here on gardens all the time, writing tickets for you, yeah. Yeah,
Voorhees
the
is a
police
classic
officers.
spot.
Huh?
Voorhees is a classic spot.
Yeah, they're here on gardens, he's over there all the time, writing tickets for cars on the lawn or whatever. They can do it. Kirk's, you know what, Kirk does a great
No, I
job.
mean, I do, I give him a lot of credit, but,
Sure
you
enough.
know, he's probably just overwhelmed.
You know,
Yeah, they're-
I'm sure there's more priorities, you know, than a car
Right.
parked on the lawn, that he's got court too, you know, sometimes,
Sure.
so.
Why not?
Yeah,
There's just a lot of stuff that,
I think it's every Thursday afternoon, there's all code enforcement in court. It's every week. And it's case after case after case after case after case, so.
That's amazing how many people go to court, but they still ignore it. And then you get
Well-
fined heavily.
Yep,
And then the
again,
fines get forgiven because whatever, and they start all over again.
yeah,
which is never ending battle.
yeah, the best way to communicate with anybody I've ever met in my life is to get into their pocketbook, you know, if it hurts bad, I think, boy, I don't wanna do that again. You know what I'm saying? Now you get these people that go back to the casinos and go back to the casinos and go back to the casinos, and they aren't winning, you know what I'm saying?
Why
But that's,
can't they go after?
them, their pocketbooks, but,
Take the ticket out of their pocket.
well, no, like I said, if they don't pay it, then the court, that, once we write the ticket, we're done. Waterford Township's done, it goes to the 51st District Court. If they don't show up in court and don't pay it, then there's a bench warrant issue. That's, again, that's out of our hands. We have no more enforcement power unless a police officer happens to pull them over, you know, and they get an outstanding warrant, and they take them into court. So, but other than that, like I said, once we write the tickets, basically, we're done. As a township, you know, we've done turned it over to the court, and then the court takes it from there. And they were talking about doing, I think, Thursday afternoons, and there's enough cases now, they're doing Friday mornings too. All Friday mornings, so, but then again, that's another half day, the clerk will be in court, he won't be out in the field.
It's just not Kirk, so the guys out there, you know, all code enforcement, whoever writes the
Those
tickets
are
gotta go to court.
Those are the part-time guys.
Right.
If they write a ticket, they still gotta show up.
Yeah.
So you're taking them off the road too.
And again, like I said, there's a lot of problems about it. That's why when Sue and I first got elected, we spent the first 2 years going around the township looking at abandoned buildings and residential structures and stuff and come up with a list. And just by 2015, we demolished more square footage of structure in Waterford Township than been done in the previous 12 years. Now, not patting us on the back, we just got out there, yeah.
Yes.
And that was cooperation with property owners and us and everybody, that was demolition township wide. We got some of the people that, most, I'd say 2/3 of the people
Yeah.
agreed to take it down themselves, and the ones we didn't, we did, and then, it became, and it was in areas where the CDBG money could be used for it. And they got allocated funding in there for demolitions, so we're able to, again, this goes on the tax bill. And then you also create a vacant piece of real estate for somebody to build a new home on eventually, and again, the tax values come back up again, so.
All right, I don't mean to interrupt you, the one on Voorhees that we tore down,
Yep,
we had an issue with,
Yep.
well, they just built a brand new house there.
yep.
Within about 2 days,
That house is.
it's a little box.
Or Fremont.
Yeah, you see, they build it off the one side a lot, but again, it's a starter home.
Yeah.
24, 36, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, slab ranch.
Yeah, that's what we did, we're not pretty quick though, I just
Yep.
want, and the reason I say that because you go back on tax roll. so
Yep,
the house-
there it is.
So we had a house, brand new home over there,
There it is, yeah.
and it went up, within a week.
That CDBG money, we've gone over this before, that's allocated directly to us, correct? It doesn't go through the county to distribute to
No,
us?
that's ours, correct.
Okay.
Yep, it is ours.
That's why we're not in
And
the
that,
book.
because I was at a county meeting 2 weeks ago and that was brought up. I'm like, I think you got it directly.
Yeah, no, Rob oversees that, and then him and Larry and Stacy work on that, and then the allocation of funds and stuff, so. And we just, in fact, we just got approved. I signed the paperwork,
Okay.
Dave, we just
Oh,
got
good,
approved.
because that was
For
very
this next
beginning
year,
of the
and
year.
again, like I said, we've got the busing, sidewalks, and then we got some more money allocated for, the low income and fixed income people for repairs in their house, furnaces, hot water heaters, entry doors, stuff like that, so.
What happened to Christmas in July?
Norma Koski retired from the township and retired with her. And it was Christmas in April. Yep,
Christmas in action.
Christmas in action.
No
Action,
months.
April.
What's the-
You confused me, you said.
So, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Art?
I don't have anything, sorry.
Okay, good. Someday you'll have more than we want.
I'm sure.
KJ?
I really don't have anything other than, I did not make it to the Dare to Inspire Festival. How did you make it? Did anybody, yeah?
Yeah, Saturday the weather was a little iffy.
Yeah.
So it was spotty. Sunday was, after a rocky start, was a nice day. They're doing something different this year. They didn't have enough money to redo the mural, buy the paint to redo the mural.
Okay.
So they created 4 or 5 5-foot square canvases that they painted on. Their intention is to auction them off, and with that auction money, to buy the paint that they need to work the mural next year. So Margaret has said it's okay to display them in the lobby of Town Hall outside her office. Allison said it's okay to display them in the big wheels that's coming up September 8th.
Oh, okay, that's
on
halfway,
campus
yep.
here. No, right here, it's here.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
The fire station?
Yeah.
Here and then on to the shoe exhibition.
Yeah.
Right.
All right
Oh,
here on
that's
Crescent
right.
Lake
Okay.
Road, same day. So anyway, that's a real creative thing they came up with, and this, they're amazing.
Okay. I want
These
the pink
guys,
roses. Are they out? Are they in the hall? Are they in township?
No.
not
okay.
yet.
Okay.
I showed Margaret some pictures of them.
See, there's another reason right there. Walk from the fire department, the
Right.
township campus, the township
You can
campus,
scroll
up to
through
the shoe
there and see
expedition.
them.
Right. Oh, those are cool. Very cool.
What's that? Oh, yeah, they are.
Pictures.
Oh, is that Winnie the Pooh?
There's one there that looks like a Georgia O'Keeffe.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
The pink rose.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it does. How
These
big
guys
are they?
5 feet by 5 feet.
Oh,
They're
right.
huge.
Just some amateur artists. Well, they might be professional by now.
And then there's one young guy who's working on
Whatever
this one
schools
that's
turns
like
out for good artists.
Buddha or something. It's just really,
Wow. Mhm. Yeah.
really
Talk about
impressive,
some
the work
color.
that they can do.
And they painted them right there during.
with spray cans.
Yep.
So was there much attendance?
You know, it didn't seem
Can
like
you see
it.
that?
It's almost like a graffiti art type. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
right. And where's the mural at it, that they're?
Under 59, where the
the
riverwalk goes
Riverwalk?
under
Okay.
59 and then comes back up. It's on the abutment
And who
walls.
did the original mural?
These fellas.
Really?
Oh, it's the same guy? Okay, I didn't know that, okay.
Just-
And I saw it hadn't been tagged, but somebody wrote on the sidewalks.
There, and
In
there
the
are a
tree.
couple of tags in the
Morons.
graffiti on the walls too.
Thank you. No, thank you.
No other way to put it.
No. I mean, at least sometimes when you're sitting at a railroad crossing and water, there's a train going by, some of that graffiti is on the
Oh,
railroad
yeah.
cars. It's just phenomenal art. Some
Yes.
of it, those people have a talent, then you see the stuff where some idiot came along, found it, must have found a spray can of somebody's garbage and made a quick beat of something that's not very nice, but it just, there's some talented people.
So they haven't said when the auction's gonna be, but they just want these pieces of art moving
To
around
be
the
shown.
township.
Okay.
So that, to generate a little bit of interest.
What if they have like an online bidding?
I told them that they should get some
Right.
on.
That's smart.
So, is that it?
That's it.
That's all? Okay, Margaret?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, Sue, did you think of anything else?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
She's up to
for
six.
last.
She's up to 6 now, that's Al Kaline's number.
So I've been in an email conversation with the architect who's working on the community center preliminary drawings, which incidentally are almost ready. He said we would have them in time for our September 13th town hall meeting. So that will be a nice place to unveil everything. But I had talked to him about, via email, about having our drone operator at Media Network, come in over the lake
Oh, yeah.
and show the property, and then put one of his renderings, boom, right there, like this is what you're gonna see. And of course, that's probably very amateurish, but
Want to
he
talk to
said.
Josh about it?
Well, and Gary Allison said he would talk to Josh about
Okay,
getting the
good.
video done.
Yes.
But meanwhile, Bert Kosick said, the architect said,
Right.
an idea of animation isn't a bad idea. And he showed me an example that he did for a church where the camera's kind of panning around the building and you get a real sense of
Can you make a hologram?
life size, we can like walk through it.
I know. I know.
Where you can actually walk inside.
People have it on their card where you just scan their QR code and their image pops up.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good. Of course, the video is an extra fee, so we probably won't go with that. But anyway, that was a fun conversation to have. But anyway, he's moving forward. He will be done in time for our meeting, and that's it. That's all.
Is that at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock on the 13th?
6, I believe. Is it town hall meeting? 6?
I know it's at CAI.
Right?
Yeah.
No, it isn't. It's Waterford Rec Center.
Oh, sorry. I'm
3
dating,
letters.
I'm dating myself.
3 letters.
Hi, now.
Yeah. Miracle Mile.
What's the date on that, Sue?
13th at 6 o'clock.
I might have a conflict that night. I'm pretty sure I do.
I know it's my son's birthday, but you just don't have to go to his party.
I thought his birthday was July 23rd.
I have 2 sons.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying that. Sue and I both have a son born on the same day, same year.
Really?
Hospitals right next to each other,
Small world.
and they look like twins.
Really?
Yeah, Danny DeVito and Arnold
Oh.
Schwarzenegger.
They were to golf and she took pictures of some of the twins. Yeah. Everybody laughed, it was good. Okay, so, anything else? Does anybody else here think of anything else they wanted to talk about?
I
This
just want
gentleman
to say
here.
I'm looking forward to our budget meetings.
It'll be a much more pleasant experience, hopefully.
Maybe.
When promoting the special assessment district to the police and fire department, it was promoted as a public safety special assessment district. Is there ever been any look at what the cost savings might be by combining the departments as a public safety department?
Never entertained the idea, no, I never have looked at it.
We never called it public safety.
I think it was.
Somebody may have mentioned that
Yeah, but I
in
think
their
one of the-
postings, but we were always a police and fire special
In
assessment.
all the languages said police and fire.
I think somewhere around last I said public safety, but I think there's a potential cost savings there. I wouldn't say do it right now when you have a new chief or anything, but it might be something to look at further on down the line.
And again, in this day and age, again, it's hard enough to find police officers and firefighters, but to find ones that are cross-trained, I would believe would be even a little more difficult.
Right.
So I just, yeah, and I'm not sure, just how good that would be, but I never
I
have.
mean, Farmington, I think, says public safety, I don't know what other.
So there's Bloomfield Hills.
You know,
So it comes from your paperwork.
Bloomfield Hills.
I'm sorry?
Public safety said. That's where everybody's getting it. It's in tonight's packet.
Is that the PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah,
Oh, that was
that's
there.
where everybody's getting it.
I know I read it somewhere.
Yeah. It's in tonight's paperwork.
The ballot language said police and fire, special assessment district.
I forgot I wanted to say one other thing before, but it was, a couple weeks ago, I had the chance to go to the 51st District Court, the Veterans Graduation.
Uh-huh.
I was impressed, really impressed with the program that they have for these, veterans that have PTSD, drug issues, alcohol issues. They graduated 5 gentlemen that day, and it was just really, really impressive to see it. And to see the counselors and the mentors and all that were there, that give their time and effort to get these guys back on track. It was awesome. Really was.
We all attended one a couple of years ago when Judge DeBruck was there. I think it was one of the first graduations. It was quite moving to see, and they wrote letters and their,
They had a
their
good
progress,
turnout
yeah.
that day too. I was really surprised how many people came. It was great.
Mhm.
Those service dogs that come in there, they're awesome.
Yeah, and what's very impressive is the guys and the gals that volunteer their time.
Right.
Veterans themselves, they've been through the same things these folks have been
Oh,
through.
yeah.
And so they can relate to what's going on, and that's huge. That is really, really big.
Again, I got a couple more things I forgot to say, if you guys don't mind me asking. There was a lady at the board meeting, I think the last board meeting, and it was Susan Coxon, and she couldn't hear, and she wanted to know if we were doing the closed caption. Has anybody followed up on that?
On the video.
On the video or the headsets for her?
She is deaf.
She claims she is, yes.
Well, because when Donna worked with at the post office, she wasn't, so that's why I was
Just
surprised.
to have her back soon.
I haven't heard about this.
Well, I talked to Josh and
Yeah, she came up.
Gary
I must
Allison
not-
about it, and they're talking about getting some kind of headsets for people that can't hear. I'll follow with Gary Allison and see.
How about for people at home that can't hear?
They would have their own
Yeah, no,
equipment.
that would be great.
They would have their
Oh,
own
yeah,
set.
they do,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's true.
And then I had another lady by the
I'm on
name
the cable.
Rhonda Marshall.
Oh, there
She
you
was
go.
asking about that massage deal. Have we done anything about the chiropractors? That's state law, when you have massage.
I'm guessing
There
Mary's
is a-
working on the trash, and when he's done with the trash, she get to the massage.
One bit of.
One, yeah, one fire at a time.
Although the police chief recommends not changing it too much because the way it's written enables him to raid these places that are illicit.
Did everybody see his email at the board? Everybody read that email?
Yes.
Right.
And he did address it, that there is a way that these people can apply for hardship, should they
Right.
be legitimate, and it will be reviewed. So that's, yeah.
But again, like you said, if you change your wording too much, it takes the enforcement power out. And you take the enforcement power out, when you raid these places, you go into court, they get booted out because,
And Lord knows we've had enough in Waterford that have been,
you know,
Well, the other thing that was discussed too is that medical exam, they have to get some kind of clearance, or a doctor or whatever, because they can. What about food service people? I thought the Oakland County Health Department had services where you can go get a certificate for, let's say, somebody who works at McDonald's, he's gotta get something, they can't afford to go to a doctor and get all that stuff, so.
Well, you didn't understand the reason they're doing it, because these are being used for illegal prostitution,
Right.
STDs. That was the reasoning and the logic behind it, because of STDs. So it just, that's why they had that written into there.
Well, now is it?
But if they're legitimate, that's one thing, but if they're not legitimate, none of them are registered or done anything anyway, so it's a moot point.
But it's an enforceable.
It's enforceable, and you can enforce it when you bust them, but like I said, they've got them in there and they haven't been tested, they could have STDs and they're not following the rules and regulations anyway, so. Again, there's legitimate businesses and there's businesses that aren't legitimate, so.
Do healthcare workers have to have a health certificate? I don't know that, do they?
Well, when you say healthcare workers.
I'm sorry, food service.
Oh, yeah,
Food
no, I
service.
think they do. You know, if you're handling food and stuff, I think you need, exactly, you have to be checked out, make sure that you're clean and
Like
you're.
McDonald's and stuff?
Probably done by the
I don't
corporation.
know.
I worked at McDonald's long ago, in my teens, and I never had to have that done.
I
Me
think
and
you
Frank had a
handle
restaurant for
food.
years, I
Well,
remember that.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to put it on the tray, it was already packaged. No, I don't know, you're right, because I wasn't in the kitchen. You're right.
And I think
Yeah,
if
it's
I
been too
remember, they
long.
work a lot of
I
back in
just
the
don't remember.
kitchen,
Yeah.
especially the ones that are.
Healthcare.
Right, with all the fast food.
McDonald's, I
it
go to
was.
Elizabeth Lake Road, I can't see any other people in there.
Passing a health
Well, I
certificate.
just, I don't know if they're illegal or not.
Yeah, I don't know about that or not, because Donnie used to be a restaurant manager for Burger King franchisees, and I don't remember that. But again.
I'm sure on their
30
application, there's a
years,
series of questions that trigger various tests if necessary.
Probably.
You think it's state law, and food, you have to have some type of examination.
Well, the health department comes through all of those places at some point,
Yeah.
so.
Well, that's why I'm thinking the health department must be connected to it. If it was a health issue.
Right,
Well, I'm sure the
I'll
establishment.
give the health
did.
department a call.
yeah, they would be the ones that know, yeah.
I will.
One other thing, really hasn't been brought up to me recently, but what about the medical marijuana? Are we still basically not doing nothing with it?
The last consensus we were talking about was 5-2 against it, so, yeah. And again, I'm pretty sure it's on the November ballot for recreational use.
Just for recreation, but
I've not seen the November ballot, but it's, yeah. Well, when recreational comes on, what's that gonna do for medical? I'm saying, again, they're gonna have to completely rewrite
Right,
the book.
exactly.
And then,
So
you know,
basically, we're just saying we'll take a wait and see approach
yeah, I
and not do
know,
nothing.
because I talked to different people about what's gonna happen to MMA. You know, once there's the Medical Marijuana Act, once it gets recreational
Oh,
use.
right.
And I don't know if they have two sets of rules, this side of that and that side, and how they do it. But, you know, it's just. Nothing getting excited.
Hey, you know, we'll take a wait and see approach,
Yeah.
wait till after November,
You know,
and probably November of 19 before we really know what's
Yeah,
going
What they're
on.
gonna do with
yeah,
it, yeah.
before, by the time you restructure everything and rewrite it, again, I'm assuming they're doing some, you know, work, but you got like the governor's outgoing and a lot of his staff is outgoing, so how much time are they devoting to this for something that isn't to be decided until, and if it follows suit, see, they were within 1 point of each other. The state of Michigan, Oakland County, and Waterford Township, they were all like 66 to 68% in 2008 in favor of, you know,
Really?
what's on the ballot, yeah. So basically a 2/3 vote statewide, township-wide, and countywide. So,
But it still remains illegal federally.
Yeah.
And
It is.
our ordinance says we will follow all state and federal laws.
Right.
So I don't see how we can do this, but that's just me.
but that's the state, you know what I'm saying, that's the state.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as us opting in, our ordinance says we follow federal laws.
Yep, and you can't use an FDIC bank,
Put it in the
that's,
bank, no?
you can't.
Got to bury it in your backyard or
It's a
something.
cash business, yeah.
One more question.
So what
Or
are
where-
You're talking about food service.
Did I-
Anybody know anything about Chicken King not being open?
They're open.
Huh?
Yeah, they're open.
No, we have.
Not
really
today, when they're
very
right
good
about 4 o'clock, they were
How's it
closed.
turn out?
I went up there last night, they were,
as
Were they?
high as 37%, which is double the normal amount.
Did we have 37%, Sue? Is that
A
what we
couple of the
had?
precincts were 37%, but
Yeah,
everybody was
Wayne's up
over
there, was your
the
37%.
usual turnout for a midterm primary.
Mary's out of town. so I
But
went
we
back.
also had the
Suburbs up there.
consolidated precincts, and we had the new election equipment, and things went spectacularly well. I think I was the only township in the county who didn't have complaints election night.
Who's that? Roger?
Yeah, for election night. The workers were awesome, the equipment worked great, we didn't run out of ballots. Our canvas was the simplest, the follow-up afterwards where the county certifies our numbers. The canvas was the easiest one we've ever
Set of
had.
machines work really well.
They did,
And the SAD on the ballot did get people's attention too. There was 59.8% more voters showed up in the 2018 gubernatorial primary than they did in the 2014. It was 10,000 something to 17,000 something. So whether they were for it or against it, people came out and voted because the SAD was on the ballot. And then if you go back to 2010, there was only like this a little over 12,000 votes, so from 12,000, 10,000 to 17,000.
There was a lot of conflict last time with what Chief McGraw did, and they,
So I truly believe, Susan DeVoe Trump statewide, but not 59%. So
No.
I truly believe that had an impact on the voter turnout.
Oh,
Pros and
absolutely.
cons both.
I think we'll be very busy in November. Your office, I think people are gonna really come out. Doesn't matter, recreation,
Uh-huh.
marijuana.
well, nobody will run out of ballots in November, because in general elections, they give everybody 100%. No worries in November.
It's some of that stuff you look at, it's odd how they voted for this and didn't vote for that, you know what I'm saying?
You never get 100% turnout.
What I deem
So
so.
100% of the ballots will have tons left over. But the clerks were kind of overreacting, they want 100% for general elections. Well, in Brandon, they had 14% turnout, so you're gonna throw away 86% of your ballots? That's-
Right.
That's
That's a little overkill,
It's
yeah.
gonna be done to it. I don't,
Eliminate afford that either. That's
I don't understand, but I just,
You like
You guys got this here today,
Who said that?
Ruth Johnson.
Oh, Ruth, yeah, she's promoted how many she's gotten rid
Yeah,
of.
there you go, Dad, left the state, whatever, 1.1 million.
We have like a reciprocal agreement with many states where if somebody moves to Michigan, but we don't have it with all 50 states, and I don't understand why
On the
not.
computer, I don't know why it can't.
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
Do some states just not opt in? Is that the case?
I don't know if it's an opt thing or what it is,
So I
but you
think-
would think it would be
I-
50 states out of 50.
You think it would be
would share that
mandated.
information.
Yeah, 'cause if you were to move to Texas and you decide you want to register in Open, Texas, you think automatically they're going to say, where were you coming from? So then they can know.
Right, it's
That's on the voter registration form. Where were you registered
but do a
before?
driver's license, I can't go to Texas and get a license, and
You still
I
have.
got a license in Michigan.
Well, in California, you get a driver's license, you automatically can vote too.
what about reciprocity? You can't go in every state.
I just don't think you can do that, you go to another state and get a driver's license.
I believe there are some people that move from one state to another state, they don't want people to know they've moved, and they don't want where they, not know they moved, where they've moved to, so.
But I do appreciate.
Keep a low
My
profile.
precinct asked me for photo ID, which I think is important.
Every precinct better than that.
My precinct did too.
Oh, good.
I mean, I cover up my birth date, but.
Well, when I did, I told the girl, I says, okay, I'll show you, but promise you won't laugh at the photo. She started laughing before I showed it to her, so.
Well,
Yes, that was
you
it.
didn't leave, huh? Okay.
Just had long hair.
No, it just, I don't, I look bad enough in person, the photographs are worse, so. Yeah, as soon as you say that, people always start laughing, so there you are laughing, I'm not showing it to you. So, okay, anybody else think of anything else? Nothing? All good? Good. Productive. Covered a lot of bases, yeah.
Okay,
I remind everybody in the board too, in case we forget, Shelley's off this week, so
Well, that's what I was gonna.
I'm wearing the pantyhose because I'm doing clerical work too.
I was gonna give her my dough for the trip they came down. She's not
Well,
here.
that comes,
Last you owe it
that
to
comes
Gary.
to me,
Gary.
Well,
because of me. And again, like October 10th, this is the 50th anniversary of the Detroit Tigers winning the World Series in 1968. So we are having a
What's that gonna cost?
hot dog lunch here at the township.
Another 20.
what day is that?
It's,
Is that Veterans Day?
it's one day off of what it was in 1968, I can tell you that.
Oh,
I think
it's
it's a
Wednesday.
Wednesday, because I
It
think
is
we close it,
Wednesday.
yeah, we close out on a Thursday, see.
So this is
Hold on,
open to
68.
the public?
Wednesday, Thursday, off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, yeah. In
I was in Vietnam, I
1968,
should
it
have
was
remembered.
a,
It's
it was
Wednesday,
a
October
Thursday.
10th.
I said it was one day off, so yeah, but it's October 10th.
This is a public event?
If you want to show up, show up.
I mean, it's open to the public?
No, it's open to
Okay.
the township, but if
Okay.
people show up, I'll buy enough hot dogs.
We're gonna have it.
Out of my own pocket.
Okay.
I won't spend money on the general fund on it. I won't shake anybody down or the court or anybody else. It'll be all.
If we're gonna have it here.
Is it gonna be at
Right here,
DPW?
right here, no, right here, right here. Yep.
And that's lunch, right?
Lunch.
Outside?
We'll probably start cooking about 11,
Whether-
probably 11:30 to 1:30. And I'm gonna see what I can do if we can get
It's the
any
best time of
tigers.
year.
You know, we'll
Same,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, we know one tiger.
You know, Just see, if many, just, I'm gonna get a hold of
You'll
Lisa.
burn out
later
your
and see
lunch
if she
driving
can-
up and driving back.
And I don't get
Any
lunch.
tigers.
Oh.
My name on
Okay, how
I
much
run into
was
that
it?
problem regularly with the credit
So,
union.
no, $5.
Oh,
Just see if I
okay.
can buy
Yeah,
some.
Special meetings in the
it.
afternoon.
Not sure, whenever.
I'll look and see what I got for you.
What was it, the exact amount, 1445, something like that?
The exact
15
amount,
bucks a
I don't know, I just wrote 15.
That's that, that's it.
There's another one.
Put the excess to the hot dogs.
2 5s, okay? Excess to the.
How's that?
Okay, now I'm gonna come up with 1 5 again, so.
Okay, there, whatever, there you
Yep.
go.
Yeah, I'm already hoarding the hot dogs. My
There you
box
go.
freezer is filling up. so-
Cobles?
No. All carbonates.
Ballparks.
In honor of.
If I don't show up, that's a good 3 to 4 hot dogs for other people.
That's
So
it.
I have an interesting
We've
story
been waiting
about
50
hot
years.
dogs.
50
You were
years.
there. Oh, you were there.
Well, that-
No, I was.
I know it's
think
been a lot
86.
sooner since the Yankees went over.
84.
We're talking about the Tigers.
84 was, right, is 84 the last time they won?
No,
84.
84, because I was doing business with the firm that I ended up working for, and one of the people had there was a golf event that year too, so there was a lot of stuff going on, and they were all over telling me about the Tigers, because I'm a Yankee fan.
Then 96, 98, 99, 2000, and 2009. Last 5 with the Yankees.
They wouldn't service in San Diego.
What's
We
that?
came into the bar wearing our tiger.
Really?
When? 84?
Yeah.
So for Christmas in Action one year,
Hey, good.
a meat market donated a bunch of hot
It was
dogs.
going on
to
back then.
feed everybody
Okay.
at lunch. And he said, yeah, I'm kind of happy to get rid of these. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, some hot dog company made these hot dogs with extra salt in it for the ballparks, so that when you ate the hot dog, you would get thirsty and you would drink more beer. And they stopped using those, and
Really?
so he had all these extra salt.
Stopped using it or started selling more peanuts.
Isn't that funny, the
Put
subterfuge?
more salt
they
in it
use?
so you get thirsty, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the casinos pump oxygen in. They all
They
have
keep
their,
aerating.
yeah, they all
Yeah.
have their little like.
So Gary, 84, that's when they started about 35 to 5, right?
Yep.
That was awesome. That was up in California, I saw. I think it was, they won their 35th game when we were playing the Angels.
Did they? 35 and 5, yeah.
Okay, well, usually when we start talking about sports, I leave.
Yeah.
Well, it's 5:30, so.
You sure?
Sue?
It'll be next to you if you want.
He's doing much better, his leg is still pretty painful, but he's walking.
Is his pain suicidal though, or?
Well, it's just this
Tell Roger I said hi when you see him.
All right, I'll be upstairs later.
Okay.
disrupted nerves all up and down his leg, and they tunneled under the skin with this. weird gas. So it's just nerves take a long time to heal. Oh, yeah.
chomping the bit. Buy a house and flip it or something, you know?
That way you gotta take care of yourself.
Oh,